Oh, hi there. Welcome back to 3R Guitars. This video is actually some 9 months later after I finished the guitars. You can see them here. So we're at like Christmas, approaching Christmas 2023. But the thing is with the videos, when I'd mainly done the woodwork and all that kind of thing, everything gets a bit bitty with what you're doing. You're making pick guards, making tail pieces, making truss rod covers and just all the bits, and then you're also doing the finishing, the paintwork finishing. So in this video I just wanted to kind of address some of those little bits, because when I look back at the videos I made, they're not very informative and they're a bit long and waffly because I'm just doing fiddly stuff. So in this video I just wanted to go over, of all things, making the truss rod covers. Now at the time, it was you still, well, as we are now, I guess, you're still suffering from post-COVID production, and trying to get some stuff was ridiculously difficult and equally ridiculously expensive. And one of the things I found was the truss rod cover was, I was going to have to fork out, somewhere in the region of £80 to £100 for one, just for one, and I thought, this is just ridiculous, I'm not paying that. So here's the Blackguard V, and here's the truss rod covers I made for them. I know there's a lot said about them and all that, but I mean, you're not going to get original ones. I mean, if you looked around online, you could get some that were like, oh, this is the most accurate you're going to get, and blah blah blah, and all this. At the end of the day, these are reproduction guitars. They're not the real thing. I mean, I'm trying to get as close to the real thing as I can, but with plastics, modern plastics, in a lot of cases they just don't actually produce the same stuff anymore. So just to briefly go, talk about the truss rod cover, which you can see there. So let's try and get this somewhere where you can see it, so it's got a bit of relevance to what I'm talking about. So anyway, what I did was, here is the one I'm sort of, I made 8 because I could. I set up to make them, and they do need a fair amount of hand fettling afterwards. But basically, I made this little jig thing here, and this screws together. It's got a plastic block that basically is the profile of the black, and then the brass bit on the bottom is the profile of the white. And it's not too difficult to see what I'm going to actually end up doing. I'll get my router cutters out, if I can find the right one that I used, and I think it's in here. Here it is here. It's a tiny bearing guided router cutter, and you'll see in the videos, I will put some video up of me making them, but basically, so to cut the outside white out, just clamp the plastic in the thing and in the jig, and then run round the brass bit. So you're cutting out the outline of it, and then clamp the I don't want to undo these screws because I'll lose the nuts and stuff, but clamp the outline of the you know, the truss rod cover, and then run the router cutter up against the thick black plastic there, just to cut the step in it, because the Gibson truss rod covers had like a step there rather than a plain chamfer sort of thing. So that's basically what I'm doing in the following videos, and you know, you can see this is basically what I end up with. I mean, I did buy 3-ply plastic and shave the black off the back, so it's 2-ply like the originals and about the same thickness. But you can see the difference between that. You know, it obviously needs about half an hour fettling to make the edges good, and the edges there, the black there, I think, and the white edging is a bit wide. So by the time I'd finished fettling them, they look like that, which I think, you know, is not bad for the original sort of thing. So anyway, there is some video up of it, and I'll edit it down because it's ridiculously long for some reason, but that just gives you an outline of what I'll be doing. Okay, like with this truss rod thing, the first thing you want to do is get this 3-ply black white stuff down to 2-ply. The easiest way I've found to do this is with this planer thing that I've demonstrated several times before, and I've been over it with one pass and taken, I don't know, about 1/2 mil off. Now I'm just going over it with another pass, and you can see I'm just taking the black off, so it's quite easy. Going down to the white now. We've got rid of the black, so you know, we're ready to start like doing these things. I mean, it's quite thin now, so you know, it's in the realms of what an original Gibson one would be. I mean, I've never seen any of this stuff just in black white. I mean, it's generally for doing like signs and things, so you engrave through it, but I don't know. There might be some out there to save you that stage. But so let's get on and see now. So what I'm going to do now is basically, you know, make as many of these as I can out of this sheet. I mean, it hasn't got all the black off in some places, and you know, when you finish one, just give it a light rub on a bit of sandpaper, and it'll get the rest of it off. But yeah, that's where I am now. So yeah, let's get on. This has got screws in it with nuts on the back, so it's held in quite firmly. So next bit coming up. So what I've done now is I've basically quickly bandsawed out 8 of these like rough, you know, things, and what I've done is I've drilled through the locating holes where you've got the 2 screws from my jig here. So now what I can do is screw them in between this sandwich, and we'll have you know, we'll have a routing jig, then we can route round them. So next step is to screw these in here and then route round them to get the larger shape, and then we have to route the step in them. But it's you know, it's a case of a bit production liney sort of thing. So I mean, I've cut 8 blanks. I don't know how many successfully will come out of it, so we'll see. I'll get you back when we're ready for the next step. Well, I don't know how much I recorded of the last bit. I went back to the thing and like it wasn't working, so This is number 2, but I'll explain again. Basically, I've converted my router to a router table. It's held in the vise here. This is a little Trend T3 router, which in some respects I like, in some respects I don't. The worst thing is it hasn't got a micro adjust height thing where, you know, you've got a screw to adjust the height. It's just a slider, so it's very frustrating to get it accurately adjusted. So basically we've got this clamped in here now, so I'm using the brass side of it, which is the outside finish side, to just do the cutting, so we'll get on with that. The one thing I do like about this router, it's got a slow start. So here we are, here's the thing cut out. What you've got to be careful a bit of is that you get like this junk, you know, from the plastic cutting, but and where this bit goes in here, you know, you've got this little D thing coming off the top. You do have to file the finished result a bit to get that profile and in there, but you know, small price to pay for saving yourself 70 quid. Here's the first one I did. I mean, this has got the plastic on it, sort of thing, so you can see, right, we're in the, you know, we're in the right ballpark now, and we'll get all 8 of them done and then go from there. Well, here we go. I've cut 8 of these blanks out now and cleaned them up a little bit, so you know they're all sort of around the right shape. I mean, they need a bit of tidying up, just the edges scraping and stuff, but there's a couple of reasonable ones there. Worst thing about these is the static, you get all this shit all over them, but you know, we're in the, I know they're reasonably the right shape and things like that. I mean, far. So the next step now is using this template the other way around to cut the rebate around the edge, and then you know you can fettle it as much as you want then, and you know, make it good. But we get in there with 8 of them, and I'm going to go in and have a cup of coffee. My feet are flipping freezing, so there we go. Be back in a little while. Okay, here you go. I've got the things mounted now the other way up with the black side down, and pinched in this routing jig, and you can see that I've routed off the black round the edge, so we're doing that step basically around the edge. And here's one I've done here. I mean, it needs a bit more tidying up obviously, but you know, you can see that with a bit of sandpaper on there and stuff, it'll look okay. So I'll get on and do the other 8. Well, here we go. We've got using this jig now, we've got the 8 bell truss rod cover things roughed out. I mean, they're obviously going to take a fair amount more fettling, cleaning up. I mean, they're pretty rough and ready now, but we've got them there now. We've got 8 of them. There's one I've just started fettling up, and you can see that, you know, we're in the ballpark with it, and it's looking, you know, I think that looks quite nice with a bit of tidying up. I mean, the nice thing is both these V's will be relic guitars, and you know, the rough edges on it doesn't matter really. I mean, they are, believe me, they are going to be tidied up a lot, but
the thing is, when you look at the original plastics they used on 50s instruments. I mean, plastic was fairly new stuff then. Was it only in the 20s that Bakelite was first invented or something? But they suffered from shrinkage and all sorts of things. So I'm not too worried about. I mean, I think if they look a little bit inaccurate, they do look a bit better. But anyway, I'll do a bit of tidying up, and I think they'll be successful. So that's good. Okay, it's spent the morning doing that, but the problem is I'm finding increasingly nowadays with buying stuff is that it's not just the cost of it. Like, it's just the unreliability. You'll see something advertised. Like the other day, I bought some pickups, and I thought, oh great, I'll get those. That's what I need for this. And then I get a message from saying, oh, order cancelled. Not in stock and stuff. And it's just frustrating. And you can spend as long on the internet looking for some stuff and paying 10 times as much for it than you can just trying to make it. So I mean, I've spent a couple of minutes while I've been chatting to you with this thing, and it's looking better already. So I think I'll just take that down a little bit there. And I think, to be honest, I think that's pretty good. It's got the stepped edge, and I think that looks okay. So there we go. Anyway, I'll carry on cleaning these up, and that might be it for today, because my feet are damn freezing. Okie doke, cheers.